So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Planets Through Ascendant video. And today we're going to be discussing Moon in the 6th house in Capricorn for Leo Ascendant people and what happens when Moon is in the 6th house, okay, in the sign of Capricorn, while it rules the 12th house for Leo Ascendants, okay. And if you do not know, if you have this particular moon, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all the other astrological details for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books and consultations under the shop section. So on option 5 and beyond, you will find the report. So, moon in the 6th house. See, first of all, what is the 6th house? 6th house is known as a trick house. It's a house of struggle. Now, is struggle a bad thing? Absolutely not, because most successful people have to struggle far more than the regular people do. That's how they become successful. So it's a 6th house. You got to understand it in a broad perspective. It's a house of enemies, competition, diseases, health, okay? And it's a house of your daily work routines, daily work life, accounts. So that's what the 6th house is. And moon is sitting here, and my moon is ruling the 12th house of foreign lands, foreign places, expenses, losses, spirituality, bed pleasures. So first of all here, what this particular combination does, it causes a Viparit Raj Yoga, meaning through utter struggle, like one goes through struggle, but then comes out and rises in life to a point where they can have fame in foreign lands. They can be recognized in a foreign place. And moon, because it aspects its own sign, it aspects its own house, it protects that. It kind of heals that. It has a grip on that. It won't let that house be damaged. So such people with this particular moon may see the least amount of visits to a doctor or hospital. And this particular moon will also show that a person will take leaps and bounds in a foreign place. So when they go to a foreign place, suddenly, even though they may have to struggle, but through that struggle, they will gain something. So you got to understand, the house is saying that you're in my domain. And because you're in my domain, you're going to have to make a concoction of success from my domain and then rise. Moon isn't in the 11th house, where things will just come easy. No, this person may have to struggle, let's say 14 hours a day, versus somebody who struggles 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day. But then eventually they make it. This is also the particular placement where a person can do very well with property, attaining land, attaining real estate. And moon in Capricorn naturally becomes quite a feminine moon. It's a feminine sign. It is one of the highest of feminine sign. So a person kind of becomes a nurturer of struggle or nurturer of people who are struggling. So this person may actually become quite a bit into activism. This person can go into, giving a lot of heavy donations to people who are suffering, because that's what the moon sees. That's what the moon is impregnated with. And one thing you do have to understand, though, yes, this moon can bring in, great struggle if other malefic planets are impacting the moon. Well, then in that case, moon is going to, even instead of 14 hours, moon's going to have to struggle 19 hours a day. But can they make it? Of course they can. If other yogas and things in your chart and the time cycle that you run through support that. Moon here will definitely show that your mother could have had a one heavy pregnancy, like where it was just like very difficult. Maybe because of the sibling who came after you. Most of the time, it's always the sibling who comes after you. It could have been difficult. And it also shows that a person becomes a very good writer. Because 6th house is where Mercury is naturally exalted. And moon, as you know, according to Jaimini, sage Jaimini, is a karka of writing. So these people can be very politically invoked with their writing. One always gets very, very distressed with debt. And for moon in such a sensitive place, I always will advise, try not to take any debts. As much as it may sound great, oh, I can pay that off, in like 3 months or 3 years. Oh, it's for my education. You got to be very careful, because as soon as you take on debt, what is it going to activate? So let's say you take on debt, what is it going to activate? It's going to activate the sixth house. Okay, so it activated the sixth house. Sixth house is like the floodlight is like now suddenly showing upon the sixth house. Then who's sitting in the sixth house? It's the moon. So that means now moon has to deal with that activation of the sixth house. A person may feel nervous and anxiety. Person will feel like, oh, what? Why is the world against me? They'll get these feelings just from getting the debt, because you activated the sixth house. So now a person feels like they got enemies, they got competition, even though their life is still the same. They'll feel that, but obviously because you have activated the sixth house, it will have a concoction of its own, its own syrup to feed it to the moon. So whenever moon is in a sensitive place, you want to be careful activating those places, unless the moon is able to get it and be ready to handle it. And moon in Capricorn does handle it. It's a feminine sign, but it's a sign which is also the type of feminine energy. It's kind of like the Shiva feminine energy. It's not a feminine energy of some beauty queen or some princess. No, it's that Parvati type energy that comes in, that okay, hard times here, all right, I can pull my sleeves and go to work. And moon in the sixth house, you will also see, especially for Leo people, usually can bring about a strong sexual appetite. Strong sexual appetite, because moon, remember, it's looking at the 12th house of bed pleasures. It's looking for bed pleasures in its daily routine, because sixth house is daily routine. Okay? So you gotta look at the moon in this way. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of moon in the sixth house for Leo ascendant people. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss future videos. And if you want to know where your moon is placed, all the other astrological details, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.